What's up everybody, Nailan here at Nalitech Studio. So today we are taking a look at the building of the year 2021. So if you are a follower of Arc Daily, link in the description, you get to choose your building of the year and you consider its beauty, intelligence, creativity and its service to the community. We have about 15 categories and you can see the winners for the office section, for the religious architecture, hospitality architecture, and the healthcare architecture. And what did stand out for me was this one right here, which is the Apple Central, located in Bangkok and designed by Foster and Partners. The question we are answering today is that, is it possible to model such a thing in archicad? Well, I guess we have to find out in this video. Let's get started. So in this video, we are going to concentrate on the stair part, which is the helical stair that goes around the apple tree. This stair is particularly very interesting because it is made out of a solid block of polished stainless steel. It creates this nice dramatic effect when it is under light, that nice effect. And we want to see if we can be able to model this in archicad. So first of all, we need to model like one of these blades, and then we can be able to use the stair tool in order to create this. Let's bring the reference from here. We have this detail here for the stair. So link is in the description. You can download in order to follow along. So this is the information that we have about the blades. And we are given that it is 25mm granite tread, so that's the thickness, and then it thickens at the end here, but we will consider 25mm thick. So let's draw one of these, which is going to be by picking there a polyline. Let me use this third method so it's easy for me to draw. 300mm thick, millimeter long tread, and the height is 25mm thick according to the drawing, and it has a nice sort of shape beneath it. So I think if I may use a line here, I can offset it by maximum 35 is too huge, maybe 25. And I'll create some nodes or points, and I begin to misshape this kind of to get it to look like what we do have. So there are many ways you could do this. Maybe we can use it as a complex profile, but the problem that we do have is that if you come to this here, this is because it's helical, we have it tapering at towards the shaft. So you want to take into consideration that it reduces, and by how much we can get that from the floor plan. So you can see that we have the ends almost 400, and actually we can make it 400. And then the part where we have this side is like 200. So we need this to be more than this. It is 400. Let's add 100 here. We need to reduce it by 200 such that we have the stair to be sort of like this, such that it starts from here and then it goes to this other, size and shape. And in order for it to be realistic, of course, this side has to be equal to this height has to be equal to this other height. If I can get this one to be parallel to that, so this is what it should look like. We have this one here, which is at the back, and we have this at the front for the shape, which should be true for this other shape as well. The method that I like to show you is going to be a morph tool. So we will get a section in order to do it in section, because if we draw it in plan, it will be it will be in the wrong axis. Let's get a section, and let me use a basic section. I'll just make it like this and just remove this representation. So I will draw my section like this and open the section in a new tab, and I want to pick some of this. This is the profile that I need. I will copy this. I go into the section, I paste it somewhere. Let me paste it around the ground floor area. There you are. We paste it, and I'm going to make it just a bit like 150 from the 0 mark, and this is the thread that we have. And using the morph, just pick the morph, and the material that I need is going to be not timber but steel, and space click in order to place. So there you have it, and we need it to be 2 meters long, because when we come to the ground floor and measure how far this is 2 meters. Great. With the morph selected, I will press F5 to go to 3D, and then I'm going to extrude it by 2 meters. So I'll select this, one of the sides, and extrude them using that option by 2 meters. So let's go back to the ground floor. This is what we have. So if I borrow this right here, this is supposed to be right there, so I will put it there. So we have that shape there, and this other shape is supposed to be, remember, supposed to stop there, here, and there. So it reduces by half, so we will bring this and put it there, bring this and put it there. So we have ourselves that shape. So if I select this, I go F5, you can see that we have that diminishing helical blade stair. And if we look closely at the model, if I can bring up an image like this one here, we can see that we have a bit of chamfering on all of the sides, which is why I wanted us to use the morph in order to be able to pull out an effect like that using the chamfering of edges, which may not be possible if we use something like a slab. We need to be able to chamfer, for example, in order for us to fillet or chamfer this edge here, we can hold Control Shift and click that edge, and then we click it again in order to bring up the pet palette, and in the pet palette we choose this option here, which will allow us to fillet it by like maybe 10. So we can see that we have an issue here that the fillet chamfer will not be possible on one of the edges. So if we see here, right here, the fillet just worked, but if we go this other side, it did not work. And the reason is, if I can Control Z to undo that, when we moved the edges, we created another line on this surface. And actually, let me select and go to settings, and I will use a color, a pen that you can see. Let's make the uncut pen to be like 0.18 black. Let's uncheck cover fill and just say okay. So you can see we have a line that cuts across this surface. So in order for us to fix that, we need to Control Shift to click that face. We go to this other side where it is being also treated like that. Control Shift to add selection. It picked the wrong one. Okay, Control Shift to add that one. So we have those two faces selected, and we want to go to design and modify morph such that we can be able to smooth and merge that face. So make sure to check on preserve boundaries because we need them, and we say okay, and now it has been made flat, which is good for us, and that's also happened on this surface here. So with Shift Control selected, we can click that, Control Shift in order to click also to select that surface. Also go to design, then we go to modify morph, and then we choose smooth out and make sure we have the preserve boundaries saved, and then we have that. So now we have something flat to work with and it looks pretty good. Now we need to create the effect that we saw by selecting these edges, Control Shift in order to select these edges. I'll go ahead and select them real quick. And as well, I think some of these could use a bit of chamfering, but these ones would need a bigger radius, so we can leave them out. And with we can click on one of the edges and we choose the chamfer in order to fillet that area. And 10 was very big. We need to use like 5 for this case because of the size of the blade that I did draw. So now, of course, we need to undo that because I did not check all edges. So we do that again, click one of the edges, go to here and make sure to apply to all edges. And now look at that. It's a nice chamfer, which is pretty good and it looks nice. So once you're happy with your shape like I am, I'm going to select this blade. And by the way, why isn't the surface made of steel? I don't know, it's supposed to be made of stainless steel. Just select this surface, go to File, Libraries and Objects, Save Selection As, and now we need to save it as a stair tread. And then we say OK, and then we can come in here, name it like Apple Tread. The next step is to specify how this should be treated. So I'm going to choose like one or the center of one of these, like this one here. After I click this point and then I specify the axis, and then I click the next point to say OK. So now it has been very well oriented. So we will have the stairs run from here and then the one like that. Good. So now it's time to draw the stair. So we need to come here, pick the stair tool, and before we pick the stair tool anywhere, we need to get the circle right here. The radius of this stair of ours should be about 3.8, I guess, from the reference drawing, and not quite certain of the center, but this will work. And then the inner circle is supposed to be about 2 meters, I guess. Actually, yeah, something like that. Anyway, so all we need is actually a reference along this stair where it's supposed to be drawn. So let me delete this actually, and then I use the center here to create half the flight. So this is actually 3.7. Okay, let's use that 3.7, and then we sweep it across to somewhere like there, such that we are able to just put our stair right there. So we go to design and pick a stair. So in the settings of the stair is where we choose the many things that will work. One is the stair should be about 2 meters according to the reference, and then we need to do away with the upper portion and the lower portion as well. And remember, this design had about 5.5 meter height from story to story. Let me change that real quick. 5.5. All right, simply done. So we go back here. So we should be having 5.5 from 0 to the ground. And then we have 2 meters. Yes, good. And then we have, so the next thing is the structure. So the structure, let's bring this up. What we need looks like this. We have stringers only. And actually the left stringer is not there, we only have this right stringer. If you could see from the reference right here, we just have this stringer, we do not have one at that core right there. Next is that we do not have a landing structure. We are not going to have a landing. I can ignore that for now. For the finish, if we go to the finish, we actually need just the thread because we have just made the thread design only. And this stringer as well should be like this, not like that. It should be smoothed out, and in the component settings we can make it even rounded like it is. Not sure how high this is. If I see the reference, not sure how high this is, but I'm going to consider about 100. And then this is about 50, I think, because it's this third option. That is it. And then we can take this down, I think 0, such that we have something showing through. So if you look at this reference, we have these things going through. So I'm going to reduce that. And the next thing is actually bringing in the actual thread that we made, and it's right there, Apple thread. So we can double click to place it, and it has the attributes there that we did make. So now that is it. We say okay, and we place it in. So we place in by just space clicking. Well, right now it's on the wrong side, so we go here and change to the other side. So we space, and it's looking pretty good. Let's go at the exact beginning and just place here. So now that's the angle that we have. It looks like the thread height is so high. So let's go in the settings, and in order to spread it out more under the stair here, we can reduce maybe 160, 157. I think I found 157 to work well in order to spread this out. Well, that is too much. I will undo that, and maybe, just maybe, use 162, which is perfect for us. So that is it. So now let's look at what we have done so far in 3D. There we have it, something cool, right? It looks so good. And for some reason we cannot put a negative value at this place. If I go to settings, I want to show you something. When we go to settings here, at the position of the stringer, where are you? We cannot put in a negative. If I try to put like -50, it's not going to work. And why do I want to put in a negative value? It's because here in the reference, I have the stringer beneath, and then this thing protrudes outward, which is the effect I desire to have here, but it's not yet coming out, which is annoying that we cannot put in a negative value. So the quick fix I do have is that when you are saving this thing that we did make, so if we go back here, I will select this F5 to go to 3D such that I can resave this. So I'll select it. I'll go to File, Libraries and Object, Save Selection As, and Thread, Stair Thread as well. I say okay. So this time I want to override what is existing. And when I press Save, yes, of course I want to replace it. I need to change the reference where I place this. So in order for me to do that, I will use guidelines such that I will place it in the middle. So I will look for the center line here. Yes, I place that guideline. And for the left as well, I come and look for the center of this thing. Where are you? Come on. Yeah, right there you are. I place it there. So now I can reference this thing at the middle right there. So if I orbit such that you can see it so well, I can place here and click the next point in order to have it saved as like that. So right now we have referenced it at the center here, so we can do away with these guidelines. We don't need them, so just right click, remove all guidelines. So let's go to this thing, to the stair. You will find that it has updated, so select F5 to go to 3D, and now when I come here you can see that it has updated. It's looking pretty cool, and this time it has been placed in a very cool and nice place. Actually, I did not do well with this thing, quite disappointing, but anyway, no one is going to notice it. It's beneath and it won't show even in rendering engine. But here we have the stringer now located in an area where the actual weight of the thread is more situated, because it tapers off, which is pretty cool. So right now we need to put on a railing, because someone is really going to have some trouble if we do not do this. So for the railing, we need a basic railing. Go to, okay, settings to go to the railing. Great, so by default we have this one here, but let me go back here such that I check the favorites folder. I think we have some frameless glass railing. Yeah, this is the first option here, so double click it in order to put it. So if I come to segment, this is what is there by default. I think I don't need any separate. Oh yeah, I think I needed it. Why did I remove it? Okay, let me go back and reload it. So just select here, go back to the favorites, let me bring it back, and I think I need the separation, because if I observe this glass here, there's some bit of separation, but there's not a post. So I will select this and instead use none, but still have that there, the gap there. Yeah, so how big should they be? The top railing, what should it look like? If I look at this, well, yeah, it should be small, really. Yeah, I think 60 will work for me, and obviously not this material, steel. The other thing is the post. We need to change the post to none. Yeah, because we have just glass. I did not observe any posts, and that's it. Great. So now we can say okay, and in 3D we need to we can actually place it from 3D. Let's escape and space click, escape and then space click in order to place it along there. And look at that, that's so cool, right? Obviously it's offset, which I don't like, so if I space click here and put it in the middle here, yeah, that looks just cool. We have a problem here. So this other thread has been considered, but we can grab this literally and take it upward such that it follows the profile. Yeah, I think there. So we have ourselves something nice going on here. There we are. So that looks super cool. I think if I go back here at the reference, we do not see where the glass actually sits within here. So maybe, just maybe, we could remove the framing for the panel. So if we go to the panel here, we can remove the fixing. Yeah, let's remove the fixing. Super cool, right? If you don't like when anyway there's no gap. If you don't want the gap, you can adjust the size of the panel as well. But this is super cool and really cool, and let's see what it looks like in context. So this is what it looks like in context, and it's super cool really. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.